moving forward.
I think people are really excited about what's to come.
The city of Irving has 8 big parks and recreation projects underway. We will show you what is happening now. Helping hands.
Everybody's in need right now with COVID going on, and so it's just a blessing to be able to give back.
Look at the huge turnout as nonprofits and businesses come together to help Irving residents. Plus what drivers will want to think about when stashing a face mask, and a preview of how Illuminate Irving will be different this year. Now on City Source. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. Our top story today, most Hurricane Laura evacuees have departed Irving for their home areas. As we showed you last time, evacuees were sheltered in hotels across the region rather than city facilities for this disaster to help better ensure social distancing. At the peak, more than 1,200 evacuees were housed in Irving. They were from Southeast Texas and Southwest Louisiana. A few of those evacuees have decided to make Irving their new permanent home. In fact, the Office of Emergency Management shared the story of one evacuee who has already gotten a job with Amazon and is working with Irving's Housing and Human Services on permanent housing. The city closed its emergency operations center that was set up to respond to Hurricane Laura, but the team is still helping remaining evacuees and tracking the city's expenses for reimbursement. Many departments and several local nonprofits also helped in the response. The Irving City Council approved a balanced budget just shy of $688 million for the fiscal year starting October 1st. The property tax rate remains unchanged for the 7th consecutive year. The budget includes enhanced public safety support, continued funding for infrastructure improvements, and economic development initiatives. In other news, the Irving Parks Department is not letting anything stand in the way of a number of big projects. We have a look at the top 8 happening right now all over the city.
Really exciting.
It's been a real busy time for us.
During this pandemic, we have not slowed down a bit. It's wearing me out. Just kidding.
During this time when things, it seems like everything has kind of come to a halt, it's great to have these projects to focus on.
We were able to just push forward.
Levy's coming along great. You can't help but to get excited when you go out there and you see it.
As soon as we get some electricity there, we'll be able to plant our sod, irrigate, and move on, be complete.
It's set up just for events. It's got a platform where we can bring in a mobile stage so we can host concerts out there. There's a lot of hidden things that you don't see. Usually when you do special events on places, they don't have the hardware built in. So you see a lot of wires and things around. All of that stuff is underground at Levy.
It's designed where it can accommodate large crowds, 2,000 to 3,000 people, but at the same time, events are not going on. You have your open space.
I could see Tai Chi type classes going on out there. I could see yoga. As you know, group fitness classes are huge, and I could see that being a place for those types of activities as well.
You got really good views to look at.
Heritage is another great project for our department. I think Heritage Park is going to be something that's going to set the tone for downtown. We're basically doubling the size of the park.
We're about 20% into the project now, and you can see all the buildings moving around and a lot of excavation work going on. So right now the utilities are being completed underground, and we're going to start work on the stage building.
You're going to have a built-in amphitheater with an LED screen out there that's going to allow for a lot of programming and activities, things that are going to be unique to simply Heritage.
We wanted to re-envision the park to occupy the entire city block.
We wanted to keep it familiar, yet add some new aspects to it. So the depot will be there. The old original library that we use now as a rental building is still going to be there on site. The water tower is going to be there. So you'll see all of those old features incorporated into the new design.
Right now we're targeting October of 2021 for completion.
We're able to do a second gym to the back part of the Georgia Farrell Rec Center. And again, comes right on the perfect time. There's a lot of development, a lot more housing going in down there on Conflands, right off of 161. So those people, we hope, will be able to go in there and utilize the expanded space.
We have all the new walls installed for the gymnasium, the roof decking's in place. They're starting to do the demo for the fitness room. The fitness area is going to double in space, practically. And have windows looking into the outside, nice space to work out in.
Funding is through the Community Development Block Grant, and it's managed through our Planning and Community Development Department. And so we're excited about that. It's federal funded.
Originally, there was always plans to do a second phase to Georgia FARROW, to add showers and locker rooms. And so with their help, we're able to bring that to life for our residents.
Center Park, we completed phase 3 in January of this year. And that included a new second floor exercise and workout room. Then we also completed much needed first floor restrooms and activity rooms. The new administration area.
The whole start of the whole conversation was the complaints we were getting for that back portion of the building back there. People had to go back there because that's where the showers were.
The existing restrooms next to the racquetball area are dated.
We got so caught up with doing the weight rooming, all those other things, that portion got kind of pushed to the side, and so now we're doubling back and going to finish that up.
And our focus is going to be on accessibility.
Make them more user-friendly, and I think it's going to have a huge impact for the residents.
The playground that's there now, it's been there 20 plus years, so it's time to replace it. It's hard to buy parts for it now, and the surfacing's not the best. The animation gives you a real good picture. We still have a 2 to 5 space and a 5 to 12 space. First off, you'll notice a lot of shade canopies everywhere. When we did our master plan, inclusiveness was a big item for the playgrounds and spaces for all the different abilities, mental and physical.
It's a great location. It's right there on the entry point of Bear Creek. It's adjacent to the train tracks, so what better way to kind of showcase our city and to showcase the heritage of Bear Creek. So we decided to put a pocket park down there called King Square, which will pay homage to, of course, Dr. Martin Luther King and some other civil rights leaders.
It's just have some nice seating and shade and landscape for it.
There's going to be a lot of stonework out there in a viewing area. Eventually there'll be some panels out there with some historical verbiage out there from Dr. King and other people, inspiring them about the civil rights movement and the history of this country.
And also they'll help direct you to the Bear Creek Heritage Center, which is just like a half a block to the north there.
Planning and community development, it's helping us out again with that. It's been a great partnership being able to work with them.
It goes from Irving Road, goes west along Rock Island Road, goes underneath the elevated rail lines, so it's a lot of shade on that. Goes west of Beltline to Gilbert.
I don't think I've ever seen a project that people were so antsy to get on. I mean, immediately as they started pouring the concrete out there, you started seeing residents use it even before the trail was open.
All we like is turning on the lights, and we're waiting on the electrical meters to be installed. Phase 1 is getting near complete. That trail goes from center east, south through Fritz Park, goes along Nursery Road into Mountain Creek Reserve, and will tie into Campion Trails.
I think it's just a great addition for us to have. We're going to be one of the most connected cities, if not the most connected city in North Texas.
A lot of shade. I think people really will enjoy it.
Throughout this pandemic, we haven't slowed down, and we're continuing our improvements to existing facilities, and we have plans for future facilities.
It takes your mind off of some of the other things that are going on, some of the negative stuff that's happening right now. You just kind of look to those things and you think about what it's going to be like once we get them complete and people are out there.
A lot of exciting things are going to happen for Irving.
Looking beyond those projects, there are also plans in the works to connect the North and South Campion Trail, and we'll keep you updated on those. Keep Irving Beautiful is going forward with one of its big events, the annual Trash Bash. But it will look different from this video you see here from past years. Instead of gathering as a group in a common location, people are encouraged to work in a location of their choice. Participants are eligible for prize drawings if they post a picture to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram with the hashtag Irving Trash Bash. And that's just what Bonnie Irwin did. She picked up a pound of trash near Rusdale Drive, and then you can see she moved on to Cypress Cove Park. Then we have Jenny Masachi and her daughter picking up a bag of trash at Victoria Park. All of them posted their pics on Facebook. The Trash Bash continues through September 26th. In your post, KIB asks that you include some info, such as the number of volunteers, hours worked, and number of litter bags collected. This school year is starting with plenty of challenges. Some local nonprofits teamed up with businesses to help families in need at a special back-to-school event. Here's Susan Stevens.
Hundreds of cars line up outside Bowie Middle School and Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium for the 4th annual Back to School Fest.
Toyota of Irving and Agape Connect have graciously donated a number of backpacks and food boxes to our neediest families in Irving ISD.
We've been preparing with the school district for about 3 weeks to be able to get this done.
There's no reason that any kid should start the year wrong. We should start it on an equal basis with everyone else, and it's important that we help them do that.
We want to provide our children with the necessary resources for them to have a successful education, but they can't focus on their education if they're also going hungry at home.
So we brought the USDA Farmers to Family food boxes and some other snacks. We got about 2,500 boxes total that we're giving out to families.
For organizer Harrison Hernandez, this event gives kids an opportunity that he didn't have as a child.
Growing up in this country with my parents being low income and also being immigrants from El Salvador, they didn't know where to go for resources for me and my brother. I've slept in a car with my parents because we didn't have a home to sleep in.
Look in the back seat here, there are 3 kids in my day. Say hi to them, I want to say hi.
Which is why it means so much to him and other volunteers to give back to the community.
Everybody's in need right now with COVID going on, and so it's just a blessing to be able to give back.
There's a lot of people in this community that do the right thing, and I'm proud to be part of it.
It means the world to our district, and we are so appreciative of their support.
Back to School Fest 2020 provides children with the proper school supplies and nourishment to start the school year off on the right foot and gives a little bit of hope during a difficult time.
Hi, you're welcome.
Susan Stevens for City Source.
Now to COVID-19. As of production time, trends in Dallas County are heading in the right direction with fewer cases and deaths. But leaders say it is no time to let your guard down and that everyone should keep wearing masks. But where do you keep that mask? AAA Texas is advising against hanging them from your rearview mirror because they can partially block your field of vision. The team there cites TxDOT data showing that impaired visibility contributed to nearly 3,500 crashes across the state in 2019.
Obstructing your field of vision, even partially, can be dangerous. It can cause you to miss things that you should see on the roadways, such as signs, pedestrians, wildlife, motorcycles, bikes, or even other vehicles, which can increase your risk for a crash.
And something else to keep in mind, the CDC says all reusable face masks should be washed regularly. They can go in your washing machine with detergent. The CDC recommends using the warmest water setting for the cloth used to make the mask, then dry them on the highest heat setting. Also, we have a reminder that there are COVID-19 financial assistance programs available. Find out about funds for businesses, housing, utilities, childcare, and more at cityofirving.org/COVID-19. And in other public health news, Irving is recording more mosquitoes testing positive for West Nile virus. Also, as of production time, 1 Irving resident is infected. Dallas County Health and Human Services reports that severe infections can cause neurologic complications such as encephalitis. There is no vaccine or specific treatment for West Nile virus. So here is a reminder of the tips to protect yourself. Whenever you're outside, use insect repellents that contain DEET. Wear loose, long, light-colored clothing. Drain any standing water around your home because it can become a mosquito breeding ground. Also, limit time outdoors, not just at dusk and dawn. Dallas County says it applies all day long. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. To mark that, the city has made Illuminate Irving a tradition. The moving ceremony involves people gathering along the Mandalay Canal and watching the release of lanterns that were decorated with messages of encouragement for survivors and tributes to victims. This year, the ongoing pandemic is leading to some changes in this observance. Here to talk more about this is Irving Police Department Victim Services Supervisor Heather Koval. Heather, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we showed a little bit of what Illuminate Irving looked like in past years. How will it be different this year?
Well, this year we really wanted to continue with our tradition of hosting Illuminate Irving, and yet we wanted to make it safe for all the participants. And so we are making individualized kits for people to pick up at our center, and they can decorate their lantern at their home with their family in honor of a victim or a survivor of domestic violence. And then they'll be able to release that lantern at their home, in their bathtub, in their swimming pool, or another body of water. And we're hoping that they'll take pictures and video of that release and upload it into our website, which we've got all the instructions in the kit. And at the end of October, we will culminate all of those videos and pictures that have been sent in for a domestic violence awareness video that'll be featured on our social media sites.
And I know that it was important for you to go forward with this event. What impact do you think Illuminate Irving has had over the years?
Well, I think it's really been a positive experience. We've had many people who come back year after year and have commented on how meaningful the ceremony is, how much it means to their family, that they plan for it each year. We have individuals reaching out to find out when it's going to be the next year, and so we really see that happening. And in addition, we see families coming together and participating in the event together each year and really talking about what a great experience it is for them as a family.
You were on this program a few months back, just as the pandemic was getting underway, and you voiced concerns about an uptick in cases as people spend more time at home. Are you seeing that?
Well, we certainly know that the conditions are right for there to be an increase in domestic violence. Reporting is hard to know if incidents are actually increasing or decreasing, because about 60% of domestic violence incidents don't get reported to law enforcement. And, you know, the resources that are available for victims, a lot of victims, if they leave, they might seek shelter, and they don't feel comfortable going to shelter right now because of the pandemic, so they may not reach out to some of those services. So it's hard to know right now exactly what the numbers look like, but what we do know is that the conditions are such that there's elevated stress in the family. The children are at home. There's a lot of stress with that. There's financial issues going on, work issues, and all of those things culminated together. When you're in a relationship that one individual may have power and control over another individual, it can escalate the physical violence, the verbal violence, all of those kinds of things.
And that gets back to the need to raise awareness at events such as Illuminate Irving. And your daughter participated last year as a speaker. I know you and your husband, Sean, are very proud. On the larger issue, as a mother and an expert, at what age should parents bring up this topic?
Well, you know, we start talking to our kids at a very young age. I've got a 2-year-old, and if you try to take his toy from him, he automatically becomes physical and will swat at you, right? And so teaching kids, even at that age, that becoming physically aggressive or hitting is not okay. So I think we start these conversations at a very young age and talking about how we interact with other people, how we talk to one another, what words we can use with each other. You know, if you have children at home with siblings, you've had a sibling say, "Mom, so-and-so called me this." And so, you know, we want to openly have those conversations with our kids about how does it make you feel when somebody calls you those names? Is that okay? Do you see mommy and daddy calling each other those names? So really educating them from that very young age that we treat one another with respect, with our words and with our bodies.
Yeah, and this event may be one way to get that discussion started. Heather Koval, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
And here is how you can make a lantern. Pick up a kit during business hours from September 28th through October 16th at the Carol Susap Family Advocacy Center. The kit will have instructions for how to upload your video to the police department. We are looking ahead to a brand new celebration that will offer plenty of the frights and thrills that we associate with this time of year. A preview of Eerie Irving is next time on City Source. Also, a milestone in construction of Irving's signature bridge. We will show you more of this great video and explain what's ahead. Those stories and more next time on City Source. Remember, you can always email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org, and find us on YouTube. Our channel is at youtube.com/thecityofirving. Subscribe and you can get notifications when we upload new videos. And that's it for this edition of City Source. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.